Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Shit Moms Won't Say. My guest tonight has opened up her platform to help others. Isn't that a nice thing to do? She has used it to highlight what it is like being an androgynous woman married to a woman who is also a mom. She's incredible. I love her page. I love her whole deal. I'm so excited she's here. Mom of two, Carrie, aka my name is Momma. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
And
Thanks for
on
having
all
me.
days of Lesbian Visibility Day.
Yeah, apparently. We couldn't have timed it better.
Well, finally, people can see us.
Right, I know. That's
Before
true.
they could not, so it's good. It's
Yes.
good news.
What were we before then?
I think we were just like pride flags. I don't know. Like, was every time like a pride flag waves, does a lesbian like become visible?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Maybe. Yeah.
I think that's how lesbians are made. I think that's how that happens.
Okay.
But I'm really excited you're here. And everybody may notice, we didn't talk about Carrie's last name, and here's why. Because when she first created her page, some of you were pieces of shit. So she doesn't use your last name. Some of you are mean, but now you're not. So that's how life works.
Exactly.
But if you're very confused by it, that's why. She doesn't want you to know her last name because it's none of your business.
Exactly.
So listen, my friend, let's jump into the Big Mom 3. You and I have a lot of fun stuff to talk about because, you know, we gather at the lesbian meetings each and every week together. So like, you know, Carrie and I have everything going on the same because all lesbians have the same things going on. So I think it's pretty important for us to make sure people know that.
But we're all the same anyway.
We're all the same, right? Exactly. We certainly don't have any differences at all. And meanwhile, the things we're going to talk about today, like, are the things you and I have in common.
That is true.
Lesbians are different, and there are different breeds. And actually, let's chat about that for a second, because I talked about this on the show probably like a few weeks ago, and I was like, and I'm a chapstick lesbian. And I had people be like, now what is a chapstick lesbian? And I was like, well, it's somewhere in between, like somebody who's a little bit more, male presenting or butch, and then there's somewhere in between, like, lipstick lesbian. I'm like a flannel wearing, I don't wear lipstick, but I wear chapstick.
Right.
So, and you're more on like the androgynous side. We're different.
Yeah.
Lesbian.
Exactly. I don't know. Just it's weird because I don't like, I find a category that I fit in. Like basically, I mean, I mostly wear men's clothes, but I'm like super duper feminine. Like my wife, is like I guess you can call her lipstick lesbian, like in her looks,
Me too, yeah.
So I'm the soft butch of us, if you had to categorize us, which people do. So, but I'm the one that's like obsessed with like makeup and products and hair and face masks, and like, I'm sitting at work and I have a foot mask on, and like I'm the one that's like super super girly out of the two of us. But this is just like how I found my comfort. It's just like a little bit of everything, whatever.
I'm with you. And people like don't understand it, right? Like people don't understand, like, I am comfortable in a flannel. I am also comfortable in a full face of makeup. I'm also comfortable in jeans versus a dress. Like, shouldn't really matter. But people like, don't really get it.
Yeah, like it's like they have to try to place you like, so what look are you going for? Like a guy? Like, no, just me, like where I feel comfortable. Like for once in my life, I'm not actually going necessarily for a look that you can define, because I just kind of want to dress what makes me feel comfortable. Like,
what a concept.
Yeah. I know, it's crazy.
I am jealous that you can pull off short hair though, because I cannot, because I have a basketball head, but I wish that I could. It was very convenient.
You don't know until you try.
I think everybody's well aware of that. It would not be a very cute look on me. So,
well, my hair was as long as yours, and I chopped it all at once. Just
did you play with like any apps or anything to be like, this is what I could look like?
I mean, I for years and years really wanted to chop my hair because that's how I just felt like comfortable. Yeah. And my wife finally was probably sick of like hearing it, and she just took me to a barber one day, and it was a lesbian barber. So, because the first time, a couple of times I tried to talk to a barber, they're like, "Oh, we only cut men's hair." So like she just took me to this lesbian barber, and she was like, "Okay, so you're gonna chop your hair today, and you're just gonna do it because you've been wanting to do this for years, and just do it." I'm so glad she did. So yeah.
Love it. Well, it looks cool. I love it. All right, let's jump into the Big Mom 3. So I know when we spoke before, you're like, I forgot the 3 questions. Big curveballs on this show. I think you're gonna
I hope I wasn't supposed to study.
Yeah, no, I think it's open book. I think we're okay. So the first one, real easy. First question of the Big Mom 3, did you always know you wanted to be a mom?
No, I didn't. I I always kind of felt like it was in the cards for me. Like, I always thought like maybe, yeah, like probably that's what people do. You like find someone and fall in love and get married and have kids, but I never really felt like it was like a definite for me. It was like it was just kind of something that might happen one day, but it wasn't like this has to happen no matter what. And I kind of didn't even really have the desire to have kids even until I met my wife, and like just found like peace in my life and happiness and found myself, and then I wanted a family with her. So yeah, it wasn't like a never, and it wasn't like a have to. I just figured probably one day, but that was about it.
It's like the person. Like I was the same way.
Yeah.
Like until I met my wife, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and you meet the right person, you're like, oh, I could have a family with you. And then you do.
Yeah. I'm not one of those people that's like crazy about kids and like, oh, a baby. I'm like, oh, a baby. What do I do with that? Like, I don't want to hold it. I don't know how to hold it or what to do with it.
If it's not my own kid, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Truly. Like, I think they're annoying. So you have 2. You have 2 kids. What's the age breakdown?
So Olivia's 4 and Lucas is 1.
Babies. I have a 1-year-old also. So we're both living that like toddler.
Yeah. So we've got a total like toddler diva and then a 1-year-old who is just like so curious and all over the place, and they love each other. So it's awesome.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
That's so cute. Okay, ready? I guess this is like a more difficult question of the Big Mom 3, but I want you to just like, whatever's the first one that pops into your head, just say it. Okay. What is the shittiest or most backhanded piece of advice you've ever gotten from another mother or parent?
Usually involving like medicine or something, like to drug your kid. Just like, I don't know. I can't recall any like shitty backhanded advice or anything, but just like bad advice where like, oh, like let them cry or give them Benadryl, and just like, not that any of that's wrong. It just doesn't align with my parenting styles. And every time I've heard that, it's been people who know my parenting style. So
don't you love that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's people who know you and still like, but why don't you give her Tylenol? And you're like, well, I don't want to. Although at this point, if my kid's sick, I'd give her anything.
Right. I know. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, of course, if my kid's sick, but just like, we don't like give them something to fall asleep so that we can like relax and have a nice evening or just let them cry it out. We just don't do that. So, I don't know. I haven't really had any like backhanded advice or anything, but just like unwanted advice, always like a lot of that.
Nice.
Like, they need to cry. It's good for their lungs. Like, okay.
So it's like breathing. And when they get too upset and they don't breathe, I feel like that's not good
right.
for lungs. But it's whatever works for you. Message of the show, whatever works for you. That doesn't work for you. It doesn't work for me either. So of course, we both think we're right. But anyway, Big Mom 3 question number 3. What is a skill or superpower you had before becoming a mom that you think has really helped you as a mom?
Maybe like Uber organization, but really when I think about it, I don't really organize the kids. My wife does all that. Thank God, because I'd forget things all the time. I just organize house stuff. I think, how about staying calm under pressure? I think that's my good one. The other day, my wife, like, I was in a meeting presenting on a call, like Zoom call, face to face, and like my office door opens and she's just like holding a bloody kid. And I was like, is that blood? Okay, I gotta go. Like, just jump up and like, okay, you do this, you get that, you get in the shower, and just like, and then you take him here. I don't, just like easily to like just step back and like not get emotional and just be like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. You do this, you do that. Cause she just is very emotional. And he's fine. He just hurt his mouth basically, and we had to rush him to the dentist. just, it happens, I guess,
It does.
apparently, but it's bloody when it's like on their face, you know?
Well, and I feel
So,
like toddlers specifically bleed more. Like
yeah.
they hit themselves and it's just everywhere.
You,
Everywhere.
you think their head exploded, and it's like, then
Totally.
you clean them up, and the first
Like
thing I
it's
always do is like clean the blood so no one freaks out. Like
right.
before, Olivia had the same thing once, and just like clean her up before she sees herself and freaks out, and then we'll go to the emergency room, you know?
It's a good plan.
Yeah.
I thought you meant so
But
like
yeah,
no like adult freaks out, but you're right. Like so no kid looks
no,
in the
yeah,
mirror and they're like, that's smart.
yeah, yeah.
That's
She
smart.
she like bit it on her scooter, and she had a helmet on, but somehow still bit her tongue, a
Mm.
hole in her tongue. So a lot of blood apparently comes from the tongue.
My daughter, like, so her name's Lily. She like was running up this little block the other day and just slammed her face into my leg. I mean, like the world's tiniest scrape, but like
Oh,
blood everywhere.
yeah,
So much blood. Like to the point that I started to laugh because she was fine, obviously, but like, where the fuck is all this blood coming from? The world's tiniest scrape. It's
yeah.
very odd. I don't know. Kids are
It's
weird.
crazy. I think
Science is
it's
weird.
just to like get us in practice for like if something real happens, you know. It's like keep the parents on the toes.
Yeah,
Some
keep it
nature.
up.
I don't
Keep it
know.
up. Get ready for a real emergency.
Yeah.
Real emergency. All right. So let's
So
dive
crazy.
into a couple of things. So you and I first connected, we chatted about something that I am some may say too vocal about. I don't care. I talk about second parent adoption a lot on the show, on my page, just because it's something that people like. It seems to be this thing that has just totally like been avoided in society. And like when people hear what it is, most people that are good people are like, that's really fucked up. It is
Yeah.
really fucked up. You chose to go like a different route because you were like, I don't want to deal with the home visits. I don't want to do this. Like you did like step parent adoption.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's the difference? Like what did you kind of give me like your story on it?
Okay. Yeah, so both my wife and I used a donor, an anonymous donor at a sperm bank, and you have a certain level of contract that you just saying, you know, that you're buying it together. Um, and then we even before having Olivia had a lawyer draw up just a lot of different, you know, living wills and all sorts of things. And one of the things we had drawn up was a contract saying that we are conceiving this child together, right? So like if my wife dies in childbirth, like it's my child, like our intent is to conceive together. So it helps, you know, going through the system. So did all that. And then we found a hospital that would, you know, because this was 4.5 years ago now when Olivia was born. So we found a hospital that would let my name go on the birth certificate as father, but they didn't have parent one and parent two yet. But I'm like, well, I'll take it, you know,
Fine. Fine.
like
Yeah.
whatever. So that was awesome. But then even after that, you know, we had been getting legal advice. I've probably spoken to at least 10 lawyers over the course of just because I want all the angles.
Yeah.
And basically, like having your name on the birth certificate is really just like an administrative document. So if anyone ever wanted to challenge it, that, you know, that's all it would take. Like, and whether, I mean, I would hope that eventually I would argue my case in court, like I am their parent. There's no denying that. But like, can you imagine if like something happened to my wife and then my kids went into like social services or something or anywhere without me? I just like even for an hour, let alone days or weeks or however long, I just can't even imagine it. So yeah, it's just like an extra layer of protection really. And then there's the two options. So when I was first like decided I was going to go for it and I was speaking to a lawyer about it, she's the one that actually said, well, because she kept saying like, well, step parent adoption, and I was like, I'm not a step parent. Like, what do you?
No,
I'm
I'm
their
not.
mom. Like, what the heck? And so she's like, well, then you could do a second parent adoption, and then we were looking through all that, and there's this home visit and stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, A, they both suck. Like, I don't want to do either. But B, like, I need to figure this out. And it actually, that was when Olivia was born, and it took me years to like be okay with it, which I'm a little ashamed to say because I know that I'm doing it to protect my family, but like my ego couldn't get past the whole like bitterness of like I have to adopt my own kids. And when I would tell people that, they'd be like, what? I can't believe it. That's so crazy. And I'm like, I know that's crazy. Like that is really crazy, but that's just a fact. So, yeah, and it's expensive and it's unnecessary. And I was like ashamed of it maybe or something.
Yeah,
Like if
yeah.
I go through with this, then it's like, I'm like admitting that I don't see myself. I don't know. I just had all sorts of
I get
internal
it.
stuff going.
No, I get, well, because you like, you're obviously like, I don't question my legitimacy as a parent. Like, you don't question your
Right.
legitimacy as a parent. And then there's this like legality that's, by the way, is a federal issue, everyone. This is not like, oh, like, so it carries in Florida. Like, it's not like a little pocket of Florida that's being bigoted. It's not like, it's a pervasive issue, like, and it really comes down to like, so I'm in New York, like if I traveled to, and I don't want to like call out
Mm-hmm.
some state, I don't know, X state that doesn't value, we can all picture a state, pick a state. If we went to a state, and like that didn't see us as equal parents, and God forbid something happened, like, I'm with you. I could not stand the thought, even if it's for 5 minutes, even if she was passed to my in-laws, which is like what we did all of like the living wills and that stuff too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's where she would go. But that like separation outweighed for me anyway. And I'm sort of hearing maybe for you too, outweighed the like ego thing of like, I can't believe I have to adopt my own kid.
Yeah. Yeah. I just, I guess it was really right after Lucas was born, that I don't know what it was. It was definitely something I read or saw, because, I like to always read blogs and watch blogs and stuff like that, just about this subject and get other
Yeah.
perspectives. And something hit me. I wish I could remember what it was. I have no idea though. Um, something hit me, and I just kind of like started to change my frame of mind on it. Like, okay, I have the privilege of being able to, with full and equal rights, if I do this one stupid thing, that's just really a way that I can be like, some people, are shitty parents out there
Yeah.
in the world, or non-existent, or just ditch their kids or whatever. I am a great parent to my kids, and I can do this extra really intentional thing to to protect them and to show them, like, I'm doing this. I'm not your parent because I accidentally knocked your other
Right.
mom up,
Didn't
or
hold
like,
mom up. Yeah.
I not only am I your active parent now and I love you so much, I'm gonna like really protect you and take that extra step and like go, because I was also kind of like, I don't want the kids to ever eventually know that I adopted them, and then they're like, you're my adopted mom or something. But somehow something just changed in my frame of mind, and I just like had a lot of gratitude about it. Like, okay, this is like an extra step I can take to protect my family and make a really intentional decision,
Yeah.
about like being their parent. And not everyone gets to do that, right? Like, people, straight couples are just parents, a lot of them, like without these challenges. So it's like, okay, if I kind of change my frame of mind about it, then I can do it that way. And then so after Lucas was born, I was like, okay, so if I'm going to take my ego out of it, the clearest, simplest, quickest step is the step parent adoption.
Oh, interesting.
And because then you don't have, because step parent adoption is meant for when the spouses are married. So when you're married to the
Right.
person that gave birth, then you don't have to do the home visit and all that, because you're, I don't know, who
Because
knows?
it's
Like,
intended for
the
certain people,
whole,
so it doesn't.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't even know. So somehow, it's a loophole to get around the home visit, because my whole thing, and not to freak you out, I'm sure everything's gonna be fine, but I'm sure you're thinking it too. Like, what if you get someone that's like anti-gay and they do a home visit, and
Right. And
like
then what?
just all these things, right? Like, I hate leaving it in someone
Totally.
else's hands. And I was in a
We had
rush
our
at
home
that
visit
time.
already. We
Oh,
did
you
that. We
did?
had
How did,
we had our home
wait,
visit last week. So it was, it was fine. And like the social worker was very nice. We had spoken before she came here, and she had said to me, like, look, I adopted all four of my kids. She's not gay, but she said I adopted all four of her kids. She's like, I understand, like, this is not fun. Like, she came into this knowing like I was not happy about this. And
yeah,
like, you have to meet my 1-year-old for what? In the middle of a pandemic? Like, what do you have to meet her for? Like, what's she gonna say to you? Moana? Like, she's not gonna say anything to you.
right.
But I mean, it went fine. And that was like the part that I was really, that's the part, and I'm with you, and that's the part I like really was unhappy about, is the home visit. That like observation of me as a parent, like the legal stuff, it is what it is. I think it's bigoted. I think it's hateful. I think your attitude towards it is amazing. And I need to adopt a little bit of that attitude towards it. I think because we're in the thick of it right now, I'm probably more during it.
Took me a long time to get there.
Yeah. I love the way you think about it though. Like, you're right. Like, this is something super intentional that you did for your kids, you know, and like, that's an extra step that people don't even have the choice of taking to show their kids how much they love them. So I think that's a really cool mindset. I'm not thrilled for court on Wednesday, but like,
is it virtual?
It's virtual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ours, if it makes you feel any better, our judge was so nice. So nice. It was exciting. She was like happy for us.
Oh, good.
We had to, you know, they ask you, like, our lawyers didn't prepare us for the questions. I didn't know they were going to ask questions. I thought it was just like a done deal, but they ask you just like, why do you think that they asked my wife, why do you think that she should be the mom or whatever, like have equal rights or whatever, or why do you think she would make a good mom to the kids? And then they asked me something similar. But it was actually really special, and the judge was really nice, and you could tell she was so happy. I mean, it's family court. She probably does divorces all day long.
That's true.
So it was a really positive experience for us. So, and it was cool that we didn't have to drag the kids to court because of the pandemic. So silver lining.
Right. I got to tell you, like, so, I mean, this isn't going to air until Pride. So you guys are going to be watching this during June, which is why my shirt says, does this shirt make me look gay?
That's awesome.
The answer is yes.
Wait.
Who's
got my rainbow?
Zoom? No one, not a single person in the Zoom is very gay. But we're filming this, and everybody knows this is not filmed live. We're filming this 2 days before my wife and my court case for second parent adoption. So hearing that today is really, really cool to know. So thank you. And I appreciate you sharing your mindset around it, because again, it's something that I need to think like that. It's going to be helpful to think like that.
And another thing I did was we got to pick our court date. I mean, within reason, like I wanted to do it ASAP, but I made it December 1st because then it was like the first day of Advent, because we do like Advent calendars and all that for Christmas. And that will be just the day that, you know, I take off work and like hang out with the kids all day, and it'll be like Momma Day or whatever, adoption day, whatever we end up calling it, but we'll celebrate it every year, you know.
Momma Day is cool. I go by Momma too. Is your wife Mommy?
She's actually Moa, which is Danish for mommy. Yeah.
That's cute.
We're raising them bilingual. So she speaks Danish to the kids and I speak English.
That's cool.
So it's Moa.
So we don't have anything cool like that going on. I'm Momma, and my wife was supposed to be Mommy, but my daughter has started calling her Memesy. So
that's actually cute.
Pretty cute. She calls her Memesy.
Memesy. Aw.
We go by Memesy and Momma. But I like Momma Day. It's another thing. I'm gonna just snatch it from you.
Do it. Yeah.
April 28th, Momma Day. I love it.
Exactly.
I love it. Well,
just
and
celebrate it.
Yeah, we got to celebrate it. You're right. Like, and it's not something, again, so like everyone is saying, this is not something that should exist at all. It's just not. Like in New York anyway, like I knew her too, like if you're on the birth certificate and they know it's just a legality, like it really shouldn't matter, but it does matter. So like for now we have to adapt that mentality, but it should be abolished.
Yeah. And you never know. I mean, if all of a sudden same-sex marriage isn't recognized, then it screws with your right. Like if you don't do the adoption, then it's because you're not married. So then it just, you know,
just spirals. Well, I made a very poor choice to finish up The Handmaid's Tale at like the beginning of the pandemic. And I love The Handmaid's Tale. I'm like, I've read it and I know it, but I like that season 3. So of course I'm like sitting in the beginning of the pandemic. I'm like, they're going to take her. I'm going to be the mom at the bottom of the escalator, Alexis Bledel, watching her go up, and they're going to go into Canada without me. Like, this is where I was. So I was like, we have to do it. We have to do it. So like, and it's not unrealistic. I mean, it's not super realistic, but like, you never know. So we're protecting ourselves.
Yeah.
Like you guys did.
Yeah, 100%. And that's exactly, I rushed it in 2 months because of, let's just say, the political climate around the end of last year.
I have no idea what
I rushed it for that because I know, right?
No clue.
So I was just like, okay, this isn't like the most unrealistic thing anymore. So let's just get this done.
Totally. I'm with you. When they were, again, in the political climate, when the new, what's her name? Amy Coney, whatever the fuck her name is, when that was all happening, I was like, this is this is happening. This is Gilead. Mm-hmm. This is what's happening. Yeah. So we were like, putting a lot of pressure on it. Like, please get it done. Please get it done. Please get it done. I never in a million years thought we would finish our second parent adoption in a Biden administration, but I'll take it.
Oh yeah.
But I'll take it.
Yeah.
I never 100%. Thought that.
Yeah.
Really didn't. Oh, and by the way, internet, just so you all hear, like, these are two gay people saying we were scared during the previous administration. So please keep questioning us on it, because we love when you do that. We love that. Do you love that? I love that.
It would never happen. Wait, can I go back to the other question? Why do you worry? That's never going to happen. Oh, so you would gamble your family's safety, like on the fact that you're pretty sure it wouldn't happen. Okay.
It probably won't happen. Well, it's America. Yeah.
Look how quickly democracy can crumble.
All it took was 4 years and some like big asshole. Yeah. But we're good now. We're good. Yeah. I'm vaccinated. We're good. We're good. Yep. Here we go. Full vax.
Me too.
Yes. I love it. It's too bad you're in Florida. We'd be allowed to hang out in the same room.
Exactly.
Unmasked. Yep. Okay, let's get into let's shift gears. Because this is something that my wife and I get, and we were chatting about it before a little bit, and I think it's so stupid, but I'm assuming you get this, which is like well, which one of you is the dad? How did I want to know what's like. First of all, I want to understand like your experience as an androgynous woman, as a mother a little bit, but I also want to know like, what's your best response? What do you say when someone's like, which one of you is the dad?
I usually just say neither of us. That's the point.
I always say I am.
Am I frozen? Am I frozen? Oh, you are?
You're not frozen. You're good. You're all good. I always tell them I am.
Yeah.
Say me. I'm the dad.
You do?
Yeah. When they say, who's the dad? Me. And then they're like, what? And then they like generally just leave it alone.
If they say like, who's the man in the relationship or something like that, I'm like, there isn't one. That's the point. Like, look up the definition of lesbians. But if they say like, who's the dad? I'm like, oh, she has a donor, not a dad. Like,
that's right. A donor, not a dad. Yeah. A little vial, a tiny vial.
Yeah, a really, really nice, generous man that did, it's like donating blood, helped us make her, but it stopped there.
Do you know who your donor is?
It was we went anonymous, but we loved him. We chose someone because of his like audio file on why he donated was so touching that we thought that would be nice for our kids. One day they would I think feel really nice about that.
That's cool.
Like, yeah.
I love that. We wanted to, and I don't know if you guys did this, like we tried to get somebody who sort of looked like me, and we hated everybody who sort of looked like me. Like we found one guy who could literally be my like twin brother, and the guy was an asshole. Like everything we
like super cocky, like as a dating show.
Totally.
Did you get those?
Yeah, it was like a dating show.
Pick me.
Right. If you pick me, you're gonna get like the best sperm on the market. And I was like, this dude sucks. He sucks. Yeah. We ended up going with somebody, big surprise, everybody. I dated men in college. We picked somebody who looks, I mean, he could be my ex-boyfriend to the point that it's like, we have a picture of the two of them next to each other.
Oh my gosh.
Back and forth. This is why I asked, because we also went anonymous through California Cryobank. I did Google image search him.
Did you? But how did, but
I could do it for you.
We didn't know the name, the actual name.
Neither did I.
Okay.
Now I do.
Oh, you did it with the image. But did you get an adult image?
Mm-hmm.
We only got a child image.
Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha.
And we had like audio files and yeah. Mm-hmm.
I gotcha. So yeah, I took his adult image and I Googled image him. So now I will not, won't bother him. I just know that he happens to live in New York and happens to also be an actor like my wife and I.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Lives in Brooklyn. I'm not gonna say his name, but I do know exactly who he is and what he does.
That's cool. Yeah, I would like to know more, but I'm okay.
No, you seem
I'm
to be
okay
like
not
a
knowing.
very at
Yeah.
peace individual. That's nice. I'm
Yeah.
trying to like
With
pick
that
up
I
some of
am.
that.
It's
Good. I think it's
because
a
I'm
nice
tired.
vibe.
It's because I haven't slept in so long.
Yeah, I hear you. I
Yeah.
hear you. We got a puppy. So on top of a toddler,
Oh,
we have a puppy.
wow.
So
Well,
sleep is
they're adorable.
adorable and they're very cute together. We are not sleeping currently.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you. Did you have kids who slept well?
No, like,
No.
people, that is probably the worst thing that moms ever said to us is like, oh my gosh, and then your kid just falls asleep. Like all the videos where like the kid's like eating and then just like falls asleep with his face in the oatmeal or something. Like, I don't know. You always see like kids like playing so hard they just pass out wherever.
Mm-mm.
That's the biggest load of BS. And the car, put him in the car and then they'll fall asleep. Like Olivia screamed in the car seat everywhere she went. So I
Me
mean,
too.
no, we had one bad sleeper, and then for the second one, we were like, okay, we're owed a good sleeper. We just knew he was going to be a good sleeper. I think I got 4 hours of sleep last night, maybe.
She goes to sleep at night really well. So she's been like a good nighttime sleeper all along. That like car nonsense though, and like falling asleep any other time outside of nighttime, never.
Yeah.
Never. She gets in the car, it's immediate hysterics.
Okay.
Hysterics. It's
Yeah, it's the
unreal. But
worst.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
shitty advice. That's
I
really
know.
shitty advice. Well, I'm sorry that you're tired and that your kids don't sleep.
That's all
I'm
right.
really sorry about
They're
that.
cute. Like nature does a good job of like making sure that you love them so much that like by the time you like look at them, like you pick them up, they're crying and you're like so tired and thinking, oh my gosh, I have to get up soon. And then they just like hug you around your
Like,
neck or
I
something and
love
you're like,
you.
oh, okay, I'll just
So
stay up
cute.
and snuggle you.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's
Nature just
true.
like mind fucks you so well that it's like you don't even care that you're being slowly tortured.
You are. You're totally being like gaslit and tortured 100% of the time, but you love it.
Yeah.
Well, the second she goes to sleep, I'm like looking at pictures of her on my phone. I'm like,
I
I
know.
miss her. I
I
miss
know.
her. It's a
I
sickness.
know.
Then I'm like, I don't miss her that much.
Yeah, it's like
I watch her
Stockholm
on the
syndrome.
camera all night. What's
Yeah,
she doing? Look at how funny she's sleeping. Like, I don't know.
I know. I
Anyway,
know.
thank you so much for being here. Let's start to wrap it up. I have two final questions for you.
Hmm.
So, first question, I love this question because I have moms on that have all different age kids. So the answer is always different. What is something, and you have a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old, what is
Hmm.
something as a mom that you cannot live without?
Snacks. We can't go anywhere without snacks.
What are your kids into? What kind of snacks are we talking about here?
Just like puffs or like chopped fruit. We'll usually bring like, strawberries, blueberries, apples, like everything. Because
Everything. Us too.
like everything we do, like okay, let's go on a hike. Okay. Olivia will be like, let's bring snacks. So like you can just barely get out of the car and then she's like, okay, snacks. So it's not ever about the activity. It's about the like what snacks do we bring
The
to the
food.
activity. So
I
yeah.
like the way she thinks. That's kind of how I
Yeah.
am too. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I go places for food. Okay,
Yeah.
final question. What is something you know now that you wish you knew before becoming a mom?
Oh, um, man, so much.
Right?
I don't know. Like nothing could really prepare you for what it's like to be a mom. Um, but I think in my case, just I had so many fears about being the non-biological mom that just were so washed away, like before she was even born, but like definitely like, while she was in the womb and then I delivered both kids. I got to catch, my wife did all the hard work
I
and I got
held
to
I
have
held a
the
leg.
first moment.
That's so
Nice.
cool. Did you held both of them first?
I just caught and then put
Fast.
them right on her chest. She did the hard work. But instead of being up there to hold her hand, she let me
That's so
be down
cool.
there.
I
So that was
held a
really cool.
leg and then like as soon as she came out, I literally like ripped off my shirt in a sports bra and they put her on my chest
Oh,
first.
that's cool.
That's some gay
Cool.
shit right there. That's some lesbian
That
shit. You don't
is,
see straight people doing stuff like that.
when we were in the hospital with Olivia, because we did for the first like 2 days, we just did constant skin to skin.
Love that.
And they kept saying like, so both of us had our shirts off, you know, and the nurses would come in and out. And there was this one nurse that kept saying, like, put your shirt on to me. And I'm like, no, like,
what?
Why? Like, just because I'm not laying in that bed, like, we're skin to skin. They're like, put your baby, you guys need rest, put your baby in the cot, put your shirt on. I'm like, you can get out of here.
Don't tell me what to do,
like,
please.
yeah. So yeah, and just like there is nothing. I mean, I wish I could go back and tell myself, like, just don't worry. There's absolutely nothing to worry about being non-biological, because I have the most different and unique and special bond with my kids, and there's no question about how much they love me or how much I love them. So I wish I would have known that, like, known it.
That is literally the best answer I've gotten on the show.
Cool.
Truly, like, so no, I'm with you. I'm with you on it. And I know we like joke before, like, not all lesbians are the same. We're not, but like those similarities, I think, resonate with every non-biological parent, because I think every non-biological parent has that fear. I remember I asked my friend who carried one of their children and her wife carried the other. And I said, do you feel differently about your child that your wife carried versus the child you carried? And she said, I feel different, but I don't feel less.
Okay.
You know,
that
she had
makes sense.
Experience of carrying a child. So she had that whole bond, but like, I never forgot that. And I was like, what if I feel less? You know, and you don't. You just don't.
No. Yeah. And and that's one of the reasons I opened up my Instagram. I'm kind of a private person. Like, obviously I don't even want to share my last name. I mean, you could find it. It's but I just don't like put myself out there like that. But you know, from having like all these conversations with people, like total strangers, that I asked like really serious questions about being a non-bio mom and about donor and all this stuff when I was trying, you know, when we were starting on our journey. And I don't know what I would have done without all of that. And I get a lot of direct messages from people with those kinds of questions. Like, I really hope you don't mind, but I want to ask you something that's really personal. I don't know who else to ask. I don't know anyone else in my situation. So that's why I started just opening it up. And I try to take the time when something comes to mind to like really write about it, because I just keep remembering like that helped me so much when I was there, and it still does, you know, throughout whatever I'm going through.
I love it. And where can people find you? What's the best way to find you? What's your Instagram handle? And
Instagram, it's my name is Momma, separated by dots, and I have a YouTube that I very rarely update, so I have to get better at that, but mostly Instagram.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. Happy Lesbian Visibility Day to you.
Happy Lesbian Visibility Day. Thanks for having me.
Oof, here we are. And thank you for tuning in to Shit Moms Won't Say. We'll see you next week.